Schumer delivers most unhinged rant yet. Trump most dangerous and worst man ever to be POTUS by Joshua Kaplan for thegatewaypundit.com. In a speech at a human rights campaign event Saturday, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer claimed Donald Trump is the most dangerous and worst man ever to be President of the United States. We are dealing with probably the most dangerous and worst man in the presidency we have ever had in the history of this nation, but we are going to win the fight, Schumer told the crowd. If we can take back the Senate, that means that I will have the sole power to determine what goes on the floor of the Senate, he added. It means we'll be able to stop Donald Trump from putting all his junk on the floor and stop the anti-LGBT cascade of things that come into the United States Senate, the Senate Minority Leader continued. Schumer then talked up his party's prospects in the 2018 chanting, "We will take this country back. We're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win." What? Are you kidding me? Let's just take a listen to this Soros-paid shill.
It's great to be here once again. I never miss. And I'm sorry that I'm not appropriately dressed here. I just got...
Of course you're not appropriately dressed because you're freaking out that the truth is coming out.
From Cincinnati and Columbus, helping Sherrod Brown win re-election against a candidate who was against everything we stand for, and Sherrod's the greatest. So I am so proud of HRC and Chad and all of you. We are dealing with...
He's proud of Hillary Clinton. What does that tell you? That he's a piece of crap.
Probably the most dangerous and worst man in the presidency we have ever had in the history of this nation.
Yeah, because he's taking down the corruption and not letting you flood the nation with illegals that the American taxpayer has to pay for.
But we are going to win the fight.
You think so?
And let me tell you why. I'm going to tell you a story instead of the speech they prepared for me.
This is what the idiots clap
This is how
at.
I got in politics and why I am optimistic we will win this fight. So I was a kid from Brooklyn, went to James Madison High School.
Yeah.
My father was an exterminator, never went to college. Madison.
So how did he get to this position? Through corruption. There's no other way.
As you know, is a working class high school in southern Brooklyn. But from there I got into Harvard. That didn't happen much. How did it happen? One, I was a decent, not great, but decent basketball player. But our team at Madison wasn't that good. Our motto was, we may be small, but we're slow. But second, the second...
That was supposed to be funny, mind you.
Reason I got in was that I had to get a job when I was 14 to help my family. And a Madison high school teacher was advertising for somebody to run the Mimeo machine. Those of you my generation, you young people will have never heard of it, but it was a clunky machine. You typed a stencil, it went around and around. The ink smelled great. If we still had Mimeo machines, we wouldn't have to legalize pot.
Do you see what he's pandering to? The idiots. The idiots. Because did you ever hear Donald Trump speak like that?
But anyway, I got the job.
That's what they want. They want this country to be on pot and drugs. That's what they want, because they want the people dumbed down and stupid. That's who they're pandering to.
New business this Madison high school teacher was starting. Now, what was his business? He had this brilliant idea. He was going to prepare students for the SATs. What was his name? You guessed it, Kaplan, although he paid me less than minimum wage. But
I'm sure George Soros pays you a lot more now.
nights, weekends, and holidays, I'd run the machine. It would go around and around, and I'd read the preparatory materials over and over and over again. And I got 4 800s on my tests. Not that I'm so smart. Not that I'm so smart, but I was the first to prove that it was achievement, not aptitude. Anyway, the guidance counselor calls my mother up, says he's an athlete with 800s, he ought to apply to Harvard. I get in, but I was scared. Harvard in those days was 80% prep school, people fancy, you know, all these expensive educations. How was I going to make it at this place? I go to the one guy from my high school who had gone to Harvard before me. His name was Red O'Brien. He was a ball player too. I said, how am I going to make it at this place? He said, simple. Try out for the freshman basketball team. They're terrible, so you'll make it. And those will be your friends. That's who you'll hang out with. Third day of school, tryouts. We're wearing these little numbers. Number 27, yes, sir. You're Schumer, yes, sir. Oh, you went to Madison, yes, sir. How's Coach so-and-so? He's fine, sir. Then he looks at me quizzically. He said, you played forward? I said, yes, sir. He said, how tall are you? I said, I'm 6'1", sir. He said, can you dribble? I said, that's not my strong suit, sir. He said, go home. Didn't watch me touch a ball. I wrote a note to my mom saying, I told you I should have gone to Brooklyn College. I'm coming home Monday. But that night, fate, someone knocks on my door, says, how would you like to join the Harvard Young Democrats? We're working, and again, this is ancient history for some of the young people, but we're working for a man named Eugene McCarthy, who is challenging Lyndon Johnson in the primary in New Hampshire on the basis we shouldn't be in the Vietnam War. And I said, I didn't have a political bone in my body, but I was against the war. I said, okay. The next day I get on a bus with kids from all over the Boston area and went up to New Hampshire, and I loved it. It was like sports. We'd divide up a neighborhood. Everyone would knock on doors. We'd make up our own leaflets. And the McCarthy campaign was so ragtag that by my third month, I was made the deputy campaign manager of the Nashua, New Hampshire McCarthy office because they had 2 Mimeo machines, and I knew how to run them. But if you remember your history, while Johnson won that primary, he only won by 3 points, or 4 points. And in a rare act of humility, he said he saw that the country was against him on Vietnam, and he said he wouldn't run. And I said to myself, wow, a ragtag group of students and other assorted nobodies toppled the most powerful man in the world. Well, my friends at HRC, we are against someone far worse than Lyndon Johnson. And the dangers to America are even greater.
Wasn't it supposed to be that Trump was an outsider and he won through all the corruption that was going on to not allow him to be president? So do you see how he contradicts himself here?
But I have never seen such activism in the streets, such protest and resist and eat.
I've never seen so much activism in the streets to resist and protest. So, in other words, what is he saying? Idiots get out there and cause trouble.
And calling and writing.
So, in other words, you idiots go out there, protest, fight, so Hillary can rob more money. You see what I'm saying? She robbed Haiti of how many billions? So her daughter can have a lavish lifestyle and herself. So the idiots get out there and work so HRC can become rich. And so can I in the meantime while I'm being paid by George Soros. I mean, that's a great idea for him. Yeah, okay.
Never seen that except in the Vietnam War days. So we can do it with you.
Really?
If we win and we take back the Senate, and please don't forget, they're going after, you know who's number 1 on their target list? Number 1 against the hard right-wing greedy people who put all that money in the races is the first out senator ever in America, Tammy Baldwin, member of my leadership team. I hope you'll support her. But overall, if we can take back the Senate, that means that I will have the sole power to determine what goes on the floor of the Senate.
God forbid.
And that will mean we will not get another backward right-wing judge on the Supreme Court, period.
That means that the whole country is going to go down to the toilet. That's exactly what it means. If we don't get another right wing, that's why they took out the Scalia.
It means we'll be able to stop Donald Trump from putting all his junk on the floor and stop the anti-LGBT cascade of things that come into the United States Senate.
Actually, Donald Trump could care less about LGBT. Whether he doesn't care, do what you want to do. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
So keep up the activism. Keep up the protests.
You see, keep up the riots. Meanwhile, I'm going to line my pockets along with Hillary Clinton. And you idiots, go out there and protest so we can rob yous blind of this country.
Keep up the calling. Really? Keep up everything that you do, and we will take this country back.
We lost this country a long time ago, Chuck Schumer. We just started regaining our country back. I mean, do you see what they're pandering to? They're saying that Trump is anti-LGBT. Trump could care less. Trump's a businessman. Then they're calling Trump a racist. Trump could care less about this. He's a businessman. He wants to take the country back to prosperity. And the deep state is fighting him every way. Once the memo came out, why do you see a drop in the stock market? They are doing this. It's Soros. It's all the head honchos, the Rothschilds. Do you see where I'm going? They're threatening the financial stability now of this country. You know, I mean, it is sickening. And he is paid by George Soros to do this. Hillary Clinton is a puppet of George Soros. But she's lining her pockets real well, especially the Haiti. $2 billion she took from Haiti that she didn't give back at all. Maybe 1% of the money. I mean, you got to be kidding. People, if you're on the left, wake up, wake up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.